我是共和党加州第49选区众议员候选人。我的政见主要有3点。那第一呢，就是要严厉的打击犯罪，严惩罪犯。第二呢，我坚决反对各种极端的洗脑政策。第3点，加州税太多，加州税太重，加州税太不合理。我们只有团结在一起，才能够争取到我们的权利。请投我一票。我是刘龙珠律师。
I'm sure we can get some more signs. We need to get him elected. So tell your friends. We need Elizabeth elected. We need David elected. We need to change this state. This state has gone downhill. It's like the best state. I think other than Hawaii, but the best state in the United States, and we need to get it back to where it was before. It used to be the Golden State. Now I don't even know if it's probably the lead state by now. Without further ado, David.
Hi everybody, my name is David Liu. First off, I would want to thank each and every single one of you for your unwavering support and endorsement since the beginning of the campaign. For the primary, actually on the evening of March the 5th, actually I got 39.76%. It was almost 40% of the votes. Given that,
that's terrific.
Yeah, thank you. Given that there was only 17% registered Republican voters in the district, so I was told actually the number was really good. That means actually we have a really good chance of winning the election. 2 days ago, actually, I held a press conference opposing SB 94. So what SB 94 is about is that it says that if you are an inmate serving lifetime in prison, and if you were sentenced before the year of 1990, you have served 25 years in state prison, then you are eligible for early release. So that was not just, it was total nonsense. I think that bill, what happened was, although that bill is inactive as of right now, but it has passed Senate. So it can be active anytime. Yeah. So I actually, a lot of media, pretty much every single media outlet came to the press conference 2 days ago. I had at this a seafood restaurant in Rosemead. Actually, it became a sort of #1 news at least in the Chinese community in this area, in the Greater Los Angeles area. So that bill actually, so not only as I was saying, it's nonsense. Actually, it's another attack to the on the victims' families. Senator Cortese was a person that actually proposed the bill. She was saying that the reason why she wanted to propose that bill, she was saying that when they get out, when those inmates who are serving life imprisonment, when they get early release, they will be at least 53 years or older. They are too old to be violent. They are too old to be to commit another offense. So that statement is nothing but sheer stupidity. So a lot of people, they commit crimes in their 50s, 60s, 70s. So crime committing has no age limit. If that was the case, that we should have a law. We should get rid of life imprisonment altogether. We should say, you know what? You serve up until 50 years old, then you will be released. You know what? Because you are too old to be violent. So, and right now, if that bill does pass, there will be about 560 people. They will be eligible for that. They will be released. They will get early release. They will re-enter the community. So how would you feel? You have a neighbor, who was just released from prison, who has committed murders in the past. Not only these people, they were murderers. They committed murders with special circumstances. What does that mean? That means that the murders were committed during, say, a rape, a sexual abuse, kidnapping, torture. Those people, they are the worst kind of criminals. They're career criminals. So that was why I think that it's important, not only to oppose SB 94. It's not about being a Democrat or being a Republican. It's about doing what is right. It's about being right. So that actual press conference got a lot of media attention, as I was saying. So it means people actually are waking up. They're starting to open their eyes. As someone was saying that actually a lot of people don't vote for the primary, like 70-80% of the voters did not vote. I think that with all those laws, right now gradually they're opening their eyes, they're waking up, they're starting to see what's true, what's not true. So it was very important, I think that for us to be vocal, to be aggressive on those, to speak up about those issues. So to be frank, actually, I was surprised when I found out I got almost 40% of the votes. It was not about me. It's about the fact that voters in the district, they are realizing, through, all those gradually, especially with the younger generation, they're starting to see that what Democrats have been doing in the state of California, to the state of California, to the voters, they're hurting people. They're hurting people in California. So in the past about 10 years, I feel like starting from the Governor Newsom and or a lot of other Democrats, seems like they're doing some sort of twisted social experiment. Starting off with AB 109. What AB 109 does is that because the state prison was overcrowded, instead of building more prisons, they are closing them down. So all those inmates, all those felons were released into the society. That's why we can see that in the past 10 years, the crime has been on the rise ever since. Then 2 years later, year 2014, then Proposition 47 was passed. So they increased the limit for felony. Like before it was $400 something dollars to $950, to almost $1,000. So basically, it wasn't a law prohibiting a crime. Seems like it was almost like they're encouraging people to commit a crime, right? So then after that, Proposition 57 was passed as well. So it has got worse and worse. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, somebody was robbed again at the parking lot of a ranch market in Lowland Heights. About a month ago, the same incident took place. Seems like every single day there will be robberies, there will be people being assaulted. It's like it's not even news anymore. It's kind of like it will be news that if you open up newspaper, like saying that in the past week no crime has been committed in the state of not in the state in Los Angeles County, in Temple City, in Arcadia. That actually would be news. That would be news. So that's why I think that it's important to do something about it. And I'm an attorney. I've been practicing for about 20 years. I actually have a rather successful law practice. Also, in addition to being an attorney, I'm also a husband and a father. I actually have a 3-year-old. Actually, campaigning is a lot of work. My wife, at the beginning, wasn't necessarily on board with me. I basically, explained to her that it wasn't just about me. It wasn't just about our family. It's about the future generation. Our 3-year-old included. So it's important to do something about it. Given that actually over 50% of residents in the District of 49 are Asian Americans, me being an Asian American, being a Chinese American, certainly is a plus. So I think the 40%, almost the 40%, of the votes actually says a lot. So that's why I think that I have a pathway to victory. I have my own broadcast. Aside from that, I feel like what's more important is that conservative Republican values in line with traditional Chinese values, on a lot of pretty much everything. As I was saying, no indoctrination, no crime, no ACA 7, no inflation. Asian Americans, Asian immigrants me included, came to America for law and order, not for lack of it. Like in the past 10 years, I feel like what was really messed up was that law enforcement is a bad guy, are bad guys. And criminals, somewhat, they're being portrayed as victims of the society. What about the real victims? What about the people that murdered, people that raped, people that assaulted, people that stole property from? What about those people? They're the real victims. So I feel like right now everything's upside down. You know, the reality has gone upside down. That's why I think it's time to fix it. It's time to restore law and order. It's time to restore common sense. You know, as I was saying, the SB 94, like Senator Cortese, you know, she just said it. Oh, they're too old to be violent. Like, are you kidding me? You got to be serious. You know, she said it with like a straight face. You know, if I see her, I want to ask her, okay, fine. You know what? If that person, you know, the murderer gets released and he becomes your neighbor, how would you feel about that? Would you have trouble sleeping in the middle of the night? Especially, say you have small children, you know? So, and the other thing, though, is that one of the primary purposes about the criminal system is not necessarily rehabilitate. It's also punishment. You have to suffer the consequences for your actions. Otherwise, people can just go out. They steal, they murder people, they rape people, they can get away with it. You know why? They can say, you know what, right now, I'm a changed man, so I don't have to do any, you know, suffer any consequences. I don't have to do any jail time. I don't have to pay any fine. Obviously, that, you know, that cannot be true. That cannot happen. So that's why everybody was telling me, like, since the beginning of the campaign, like, oh, this is California, you know, this is Democrats control. Why are you doing this? Especially in Los Angeles County. They think, well, at least it was an uphill battle. But the way I see it is this. You have to do what is right, not what is easy. Otherwise, there won't be too much of a point of doing it. You know, the idea of democracy, I think, is checks and balances. So that's why I think that we need Republicans, you know, me included, like to be elected. You know, not just as state assemblymen, senators, you know, city council, mayors. You know, that way, I think we can really, you know, we can really exercise, you know, democracy. So that's why I'm doing this. Although, to be frank, it's my first time running. It was very overwhelming. A lot of work, a lot of handshaking, talking to people, smiling, you know. So, I mean, you know, I actually, you know, it just, you know, it's challenging, but sometimes it does get stressful. But I feel like this is a part of the deal. You know, you do what needs to be done, you know, to say that if I do all this, I get elected. They have, you know, bills like ACS 7, SB 94, you know, ACB 957. You know, I will, you know, I will vote no. I will say no. This is, I can talk to the people and say no. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Are you like stupid? You know, why? Seriously. So I'm really honored to be in this position. You know, to try to put up a good fight, because I know I'm fighting for what is right. You know, as the saying goes, you do your part, the rest is up to God. You know, I think that, you know, with the support, with the endorsement from everybody, you know, I will also do more of door knocking, grassroots, you know, sending out mails. You know, I'm confident, you know, we can do this, I can do this, we will win this election. I think we have to change California. A lot of people have left already. I don't want to leave, I want to stay here. I don't want my kid to grow up like my kid would be like a dad, man, what's all this nonsense, you know? So that's why I'm doing this. I really appreciate the opportunity everybody has given me. I really appreciate the support everybody has given me. It means so very much to me. Whatever questions you have, I'd be glad to answer them. Yeah.
How long have you been a Republican, and why did you choose Republican over Democrats?
Okay. Well, actually, I haven't been a Republican for long. Before, actually, I was very interested in politics. I've been having my broadcast for about 5 or 6 years. I was very, even back then, I was very vocal on those issues. All those before there was ACA 5 and some other like bills and laws. The Democrats they were trying to they proposed that they're trying to get passed, and then I realized, instead of being in the audience, I can do more. Actually, I can be a player. I can get involved. That's why I decided to run for the position, for the public office. Yes.
I don't know if you've checked it out, but Mr. Mann, who's on the city council for Temple City, an Asian fellow, who won his votes because they didn't register. I don't know if that's still true to this day, but it's something that you need to consider. Even though not only do they not vote, they don't register. So they've got 2 charges against them. So I don't know that we've broken that crust or not. Unfortunately, in Temple City, they don't change their leadership. They change their leadership normally, but they'll alternate so that the same people stay in charge. I'm in favor of the people, but on the other hand, I think they need to give the voters a chance to say yay or nay and train people to be, because at some point, each and every one person on that table is going to have to be replaced if for no other reason they die. And if you don't build up people that are trained, you won't have people like this gentleman here who going to take the next chance. Thank you.
David, I appreciate the fact that you're pointing out some of these assembly and state bills that are before us right now. They're horrible. I spend a lot of my time online researching these. I get on the phone, I call my congressional and Senate folks and voice my concern about it. We need everybody to do that. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time. People need to be aware of these awful, awful bills that get generated almost weekly in the state. You need to get on the phone. You need to make your voices heard. You need to type out emails to these people. Make them uncomfortable. Let them know.
You're right.
So everybody needs to stay aware of this, make your voice heard, call them, write them, let them know. I appreciate that you're doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I always believe that either all is well or nobody is well. So like we are connected, like you're part of the community. Everybody needs to be involved. Everybody needs to go out and vote. Go ahead.
There's something else also to consider. I don't know the Brown Act hardly at all, but I do know that limits the amount of communication they can have within the meeting because it's considered to be controlling. So it's usually from Temple City's case, I know that there is an attorney there, their city attorney, who will interpret the Brown Act and say, well, this provides and this doesn't provide. So if you don't know that, I think you need to educate yourself on it yourself for that reason.
Okay, thank you. And I don't know if you guys knew this, about like a couple of weeks ago, there was a house in Alhambra that was burglarized. About $250,000 cash was taken. It was a college fund for the son of the restaurant owner. And also a lot of jewelries, valuables were taken. So what was even more shocking wasn't just the amount of the property they took. It was the fact that those criminals, they stayed in the house for 7 hours. They probably took a shower, they took a nap, they cooked up them a nice piece of steak, and they got bored, they left. The reason they left wasn't because they were afraid they were going to get caught, because they got bored. They would be like, oh, I just steak, I took a nap, it's time to go. So that was how bad it was. They still have, in my knowledge, they still have not been caught. So that meaning that about a couple of months ago, I was in San Francisco for a case. On Market Street, there was a person. That person just takes a dump in the broad daylight. Everybody walks by as if it was nothing, like it was part of the norm. It was part of like everyday thing. So I feel like, the way it's going, at some point, Los Angeles will become like San Francisco. This is like obviously, a normal society, everybody would envision. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, David. I wanted to mention that on your radio show,
Yes.
Everybody that calls in
Yes.
often complain of what's being not done, rather than our voices are not heard unless we vote. Most immigrants that come here because they see freedom and opportunity. They don't realize the correlation of voting. How do you work in your campaign to get people to register to vote? The question was well taken from our friend here in San Gabriel, but how do you reach out to people? You've been very effective. How do you get that effectiveness out to the rest of the people who are not voting yet?
Well, one thing I've been doing is that I've been doing quite a few press conferences on these very specific issues. I did a press conference on ACA 7. I did a press conference on SB 94, both of which Mark Fung, the incumbent, of the 49th district, he voted yes on both bills. Actually, Epoch Times actually reached out to Mark Fung, saying that, or David Liu said that you voted yes on SB 94. Do you care to comment? He has not responded. Yeah. So again, I really appreciate everybody's support and endorsement. It means so very much to me, and I will give my best shot. I will do anything and everything that can be done within my reach, within my power, to win the fight, to win the election. Thank you so very much. Yes.
You're very involved with the Mandarin-speaking community. You have a lot of influence. What would you say Republican, local Republican, the Republican in LA and the state can better to better the message or reach out, or what's lacking that can improve the Republican impact into the California locals? Do you have?
Yes, one thing actually I've been doing is that I'm trying to reach out to the younger generation, like college students. A lot of college students, a lot of times they are not very mature because of their age. They tend sort of to identify more with, Democrat ideology. But one thing I've been doing is that I've been trying to reach out to students at the UCI, UCLA, basically to make them see what's been happening. So that's yeah, go ahead, yeah.
When you talk to community and voters, what do you find in this area that people care about the most? Do you get a certain sense for specific issues that
Yes.
the community really cares about more than other things?
Yes, there's two.
What is your observation?
I think that's the two most important issues they care about. The first is safety.
Yes.
Every single day people are worried. People are afraid of getting robbed.
Yeah.
Like my mother, I like to take her out when I get home, for a nice, like a dinner. So, but she doesn't want to go out. She's like, well, don't you see? Like, every single day people are getting robbed. It's not very safe. So basically, the quality of life, not just for my mother, for everybody has been affected. It's like you're living in fear. Like if you're living in fear, it doesn't matter what you eat. Like, you can live in a nice house, you can stay in a, nice house and all that. That won't matter, because you don't have that peace of mind. So I think that affects everybody. And the second very important issue is education. And that's why no ACA 7, no indoctrination, with all these, non-sensible bills either being passed or in the process of being passed. I think that parents are really concerned about that. Yeah.
That's my feeling too. So
Yeah.
please push on those two things
Okay.
more than anything else, because in my experience in this community, that is also what I find to be the top two really important issues that the residents care about.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Yes.
What's the geographical location of District 49, the city?
Yeah. Well, it's 12 cities. San Gabriel, Rosemead, Alhambra, Monterey Park, Monte, Temple City, Arcadia, San Marino, South Pasadena, East Pasadena. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.